We are Nerd Cold Online, and this is Turnip Boy Robs a Bank from Snoozy Kazoo and Graffiti Games.
Oh, hey, I like those guys.
The game itself is the direct sequel to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. Now, I'm not sure what most people consider a worse crime, but I would think that robbing a bank is probably going to be worse than committing tax evasion. Which makes sense, because usually people are stepping up the severity of their crimes. Now, overall, you spend the game working with basically the head of the Pickle Gang, and are working towards trying to steal the treasure from the vault of the nearby bank. So after the Pickled Gang recruits you, you then start getting ready to plan your first heist and basically take as much from the bank as you possibly can. Now, as you play, you basically have a limit to how much cash you can carry or how much loot. So you have to basically kind of keep an eye on that, and then once you either get to your maximum, or you either die, or you decide to leave early just because you don't want to risk it, you come back to your base, basically count your earnings at that point. There you'll interact with the other characters. Some of them will help you actually improve your stats and abilities, where other will actually help you get different items to help you with exploring the bank itself. Like one of them is a laser pointer that actually helps you with opening smaller safes and deposit boxes, so that way you can actually use them much like a laser cutter of sorts. This tutorial section that you actually see here is actually really well done as far as teaching you the mechanics of the game. The only real issue with it is that if you accidentally select to speak to one of the characters again, when doing so, you don't have the ability to skip through it quickly or to basically cancel out of it. So if you do initiate one of those by mistake, you do end up having to go through it again and possibly even again and again. As you explore the bank, you'll interact with a few characters. Some of them will actually give you missions. Like one of them will actually task you with helping deface some of the artwork in the bank to then actually kind of boost their own street cred with one of the graffiti artists that are also there, where others are looking for the divorce papers that they need to deliver to their soon-to-be ex-husband, who is kind of suffering from some memory loss and possibly some dementia as well, and doesn't necessarily seem to kind of understand what's going on while you're there. But one of the things that I really like about the game is it is full of food and crime-based puns. The game mechanics are actually quite simple to pick up and learn. It just comes down to really how patient or how greedy you are, also how quick you are at going from area to area to actually defeat your foes. Because as you notice in the upper right hand corner, there is a timer, and once you get to the bottom of that timer, then you're actually going to be dealing with much more effective foes, more or less the game's equivalent of like the SWAT team or something like that, that make it much more difficult to actually get out of there with your ill-gotten gains. As you see here, I did die, and you do get to keep some of your money, but you do lose about half of it. So it's at least gives you a little more chance to be a little more daring during the levels before the timer runs out. Overall, had a ton of fun with this game. I honestly was expecting this game to be quite honestly garbage, based on the name and what little I had read about it. But getting in there and playing it, I had so much fun. Planned on playing only an hour, ended up playing about 2 or 3 by the time I was done, and basically laughed the entire time I was playing. And even my son, who was watching on again, off again, thought the game was hilarious as well. So definitely well worth picking up and playing. The game's adorable on top of it, and overall was a great experience.